is Ash, and you're watching WriterGAsh. So it's 5 days to New Year's, and I wanted to post regularly for the next 5 days because I haven't been posting a lot throughout the semester. Today I'm going to be doing my top 10 favorite book boyfriends, and this is going to be a kind of a series countdown to New Year's. And God, it's exciting to be doing BookTube again, and I am so excited about this. And my top 10th favorite book boyfriend is Julian from Caraval. I read the book in the beginning of the year, and I absolutely love the chemistry between Julian and Scarlett, and like the whole story was amazing. And I mean, I've talked about this book previously on my channel, and it was just, I think I even wrote a book review for this book. It was that good. And it was just such, like, the adventures and learning about his motives and his life. It was just fantastic. I had so much fun with this book. And it's just, I am dying for the next book. Legendary is coming out in 2018, and I'm dying to read it. Anyway, so Julian was such an amazing guy, and he was a questionable character, alright? But for some reason, those questionable bad guys always make the best book boyfriends. Number 9 goes to Damon from Static. I read that book in the month of during BookTubeathon, and it was fantastic. And I love Damon because even though he was hit with an unexpected news about his girlfriend, he stuck by her throughout the book. And I just love their relationship. I love the relationship between Damon and Alex, and I love how he really was trying to accept everything. Finding out something like that, something that big about your significant other, it's a lot to take in, and he still stuck by her after he found out what she was keeping from him. Anyways, number 8 on that list is Sartak from Tower of Dawn. I absolutely love Sartak's character, and his scenes with Nesrin was oh my god, amazing. And in the end, he's oh god, everything that happens with them. And he had been in love with her before he even met her. He'd been in love with the woman that shot Neat's arrow or something like that. I can't remember the exact words, but he was so romantic and fantastic. And honestly, I think I really love the kind of guys who can totally devote themselves to a person. And I see him like that kind of a guy. And he loves his family, and the dynamic in his family, if you see his sister, you'd kind of understand. They all basically compete with each other for the throne, and he still loves them. In the end, if you've read the book, you'd know. And I'm just rambling right now, but anyways, if you've read Tower of Dawn, you have to love Sartak. He was an amazing character, an amazing man, and I honestly would be honored to be his friend. Number 7 on that list is Nicholas from Passenger and Wayfarer. And I really liked his character, and I liked the second book because it was basically an adventurous journey, and I like him because he is determined. He has a strong personality, and he's a motivated individual, and I love people who have that drive in them. And then is Joshua Templeman from The Hating Game. The guy is so romantic and amazing. He basically paints his room the color of Lucy's eyes, which is just cute. I love this book, and it was fantastic. And what was even more fantastic about it was Joshua, and I just adored it. And it was this one. I think this book literally makes it to my top 10 books of the year, which is a spoiler for one of my upcoming videos. The next on the list is Kel from A Darker Shade of Magic. And again, Kel, oh my god. Oh, he can travel between Londons, between different worlds. Cool. And Kel is just such an amazing guy. Like, I loved how he was with his brother. Like, the compassion in him. And he was selfless I mean, he was such a good guy. I have a thing for good guys who can be kinda not so good. I mean, basically, I need people, like, I like my characters to be ultimately good people, but, like, have a little bit of a darker side, and I felt like Kel did check all those boxes. The next person on this list who surprised me personally because he made it onto this list, it is Julian from The Dark Artifices. The reason is, when I read the first book, I viewed Julian as this little kid that was adorable. And in the end of the book, I was like, okay, maybe he's darker. But, like, reading the second book and reading about his love for his family, about his love for Emma, that just made me absolutely love him. And, like, he has that darker side I was talking about. And sometimes that's what makes a character more deep, and that's what makes me love a character more. The next person on this list is Des from Rhapsodic, the Bargainer series, I think. And the reason I love him is because he reminded me of Reese, and he was different from Reese at the same time. He just, like, he spent 7 years waiting for the love of his life. That was just amazing. And he, like, searched across the world for her before the 7 years started. I just love this guy because he just, like, if you read the books, I just love the things he says. Some of the things do bother me a little bit, but it's still, like, the way he says it, the way he carries himself, and the way I read the book from his point of view, and I loved how much he loved his mother, and how hard I love the kind of individual he was, and I have a lot of respect for him. And one of the requirements to be on my list for the best book boyfriends is that I have to be able to respect you, and I have to feel like you respect other people. And I feel like he checks both of those boxes. And yeah. And the last two people on my list, the second position goes to Rowan. Again, I don't think it needs an explanation, because if you've been on my channel even once, you know I love the Throne of Glass series. I love Sarah J. Maas, and I love the phase she creates. And I love Rowan because of his hardships, because of his personality, because he has been through so much, and yet he has the power to live his life the way he does. And that is why I absolutely love Rowan. And, I mean, having lost I can't really say much without spoiling anything, because the reasons I love him is because of spoilers. And if you don't know if you haven't read the book, you really should, because he's a character that you will absolutely love. I know there are some people that don't like him that much, but I do love him unconditionally. And the first position goes to Reason, as if there was even a doubt. I tried to put in characters from the books I read this year only, and I did read ACOWAR, so Reason got to make it onto this list, and I read Tower of Dawn, so Rowan made it onto this list. I love him so much, I just couldn't cut him out. Anyways, Reason is just amazing, and things I love about him, I can go on and on about it. He taught Farah how to read. He respects her. He thinks of her as a person. He doesn't try to tell her what to do. Like, one of the things that made me love him was the time when he told her, you are your own person, you make your decisions. When he thought she was dying, and after that when she apologized to him for making him think that, he's like, I have no right to tell you what to do. You get to decide. And I love that he thinks that way. And that's why I love Reason so much. Also, I love the things he says, like his personality. I love how much he loves his family, the inner circle. And I love his friendship with Cassian and Israel. And I love how much he loves every one of them. it's just, he's a good man. He's a good high lord. He's one of the best, honestly. And I love that he's a feminist. I mean, first high lady in the world. I mean, in Prithian. And I just love that he doesn't give a shit about the traditions, and he doesn't let that dictate his actions, and he makes those decisions for himself. He knows that he can think for himself, unlike some people, and that's why I love him. Anyways, so that's me ranting about my favorite book boyfriends, and I hope you guys like this video. Let me know who your absolute favorite book boyfriend is. And let me know if you also go through this, because I have a hard time imagining being with any of these guys, because I just love them so much with someone else. You know the feeling when you ship someone else with someone, and then you just, every time someone asks you who's your fictional crush, you're like, I don't really have a crush, but I do like that person with someone else. I know I'm ranting again, but let me know if you go through that too, because that's something I always go through. Anyway, so that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye!